You did a story that we broke earlier this today about C.H. Robinson, this U-turn lawsuit that they were named in. But it turns out they actually had nothing to do with the U-turn load. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, well, they said that right off the bat, that this is the famous U-turn, the U-turn case, the illegal immigrant from, I'm not, somewhere in South Asia, I don't know it was India or somewhere else, who made a U-turn on the Florida Turnpike. Minivan plowed into him, 3 people killed. Just a terrible story. And of course, it also had lots of politics with it because it was an illegal immigrant. It was during the crackdown on immigrants holding CDLs. He had a California CDL. So it had all the politics mixed in it too. So the estate of one of the individuals that was killed filed suit against several people, including one very deep-pocketed defendant, C.H. Robinson. And C.H. Robinson, not even in a legal document, they put this out to me when I wrote the story, there it is right there, that they had nothing to do with this. And they had looked over their records, and they really did not know why they were being brought in as a defendant. Well, ultimately, it took about 2 weeks or so, but they convinced the plaintiff that they were not a defendant, they should not be a defendant, and that they have been removed. Now, this is really, I think it's important because, there's going to be a network or a body of post-Montgomery cases on broker liability. This one probably would have gotten a lot of attention just because the crash itself had gotten a lot of attention. Well, you know what? It's just a sort of, I hate to say normal, people died here, but it's kind of your normal tort over a fatal accident. There are no broker liability issues in this anymore. We're just kind of going to forget this one. I'm not saying forget it, but it just suddenly became not as important. Now, of course, the other case that C.H. Robinson is involved in is the original Montgomery versus Carib Transport 2 and C.H. Robinson. Presumably, I guess C.H. Robinson is back as a defendant after the Supreme Court case. There needs to be filings in that case on Monday back in the Seventh Circuit on what the parties intend to do. So that's obviously one to watch. There'll be others as well, but I think certainly the Florida U-turn case was going to be one that really brought in the question of what becomes of broker liability. We know there's going to be broker liability. How much does a broker get held liable or negligent or whatever? And C.H. Robinson is now out of that case.